peace, joy. The mothers get all the gentleness, and the guys get all the, you can be better, you can do better, you know. I'm not going to do that too much, but I may do it a little bit. But just a little bit. Faithful. Also, real quick. This is not just a message for fathers. This is going to be a message for men. Because we have people here that may not be a father, but they are a father figure. You may not have children, but people look to you for mentorship, for investing. You may be a role model. So this message is for all men, that we may be faithful in our journey of life. So I want to give you the definition of faithful. Here's what it says. Having or showing true and consistent support or loyalty, deserving trust, keeping your promises. Men of faith, you loyal. Men of faith, do you keep your promises? Doing what you are supposed to do, what your responsibility dictates you as man, as father, and as husband. We're going to look and conclude Joshua's life. This is at the end of his life, Joshua chapter 24. He is giving a brief journey from the beginning to the end of the conquest into the promised land. And this is a story of a man whose decisions changed not only his life, but it changed the course of an entire nation. That may sound big, and it is. But I also want you to know that you have that big responsibility too, men. We have this responsibility to change the course of our life and all those behind us. This is a message of legacy. This is a challenge. This is a charge to all men to stand and find and take their place under God's orders. Joshua chapter 4, 14 and 15. Here is the conclusion after he gives a journey of this long faith throughout Joshua and throughout the history. And as his days are winding down, he concludes his life with a charge and a challenge to those that will follow him. Verse 14. Now fear the Lord and serve Him with all faithfulness. Throw away the gods of your ancestors' worship beyond the Euphrates River in Egypt, and serve the Lord. But if serving the Lord seems undesirable to you, then choose for yourself this day whom you will serve, whether the gods of your ancestors served beyond the Euphrates, or the gods of Amorites in whose land you are living. But as for me and my house, we're going to serve the Lord. Today I want to follow in Joshua's footsteps and both give you a charge, men, and a challenge to be a man of faith. Be a man of faith and lead your homes well. What we see in this passage is three characteristics of a godly and faithful man. And I want to share that with you this morning. Number one, Joshua was a man of devotion. He was a man devoted to his God, devoted to his calling. Joshua learned from the very beginning from God. When God said, look, I'm calling you to be the man, the leader, the father of this nation. I don't want you, Joshua, to turn to the right or to the left. I want you to stay focused on me, because there are going to be some things that you're going to face. There are going to be some challenges. There's going to be some outside challenges. There's going to be some inside challenges that you're going to have to face down, and you're not going to be able to do it without me. Joshua, I need you to be devoted to me. I need you to trust me. I need you to follow me. And I will lead and I will guide you through those snares and through those traps and through those dangers. Joshua was devoted to God. He got his instructions from God. And men of faith, I challenge you to do the same thing. Be devoted to your God. Allow Him to lead you. Learn to love and trust and obey and allow Him to guide and direct your life. Outside of the Lord, it is a very tough world. It's a tough world that we live in. The enemy is after us, and he wants to take you off that road. He wants you to stop listening to God and listen to the people. Men of faith, we cannot do that. We must be focused in on what God is speaking. We must be focused in on His principles. When we come on Wednesdays or Sunday mornings or small groups, it's imperative that we just don't learn to fill the database in our minds, but that we're learning and growing and changing and being transformed into His image. We have a great calling on our life. To be men of courage, to be men of faith, to be men of devotion. And early on in Joshua's mission, early on when he first took the role to be the father of the nation, he learned to be devoted and to yield to Him. Have you learned that? Have you learned that? You know, when you learn that, it takes the pressure off of trying to have every right answer to every decision comes your way. And men, we have a very heavy responsibility as leader in the home. And we try to make every right decision. And we can't, because we're limited in our wisdom. We're limited in our knowledge. And we need His guidance. You asking for it? You're allowing Him to lead and guide you through the role of leader in your home. Fathers, we need to have devotion. Devotion from God. He said in verse 14, "Now fear the Lord and serve Him with all faithfulness." That's how He starts this charge off. Before I go any further, I want you to learn to fear the Lord and serve Him and be faithful. What's it mean to fear the Lord? To reverence. To have that awe-inspiring understanding that He is your God and He is for you. To surrender, as we talked about last week. To live in a state of high praise and high worship. To be in a state of surrender and worship. You cannot worship if you've never surrendered to Him. They are together. We talked about what worship is last week. Worship is a lifestyle of extravagant love and extreme obedience. That is worship. The byproduct is when we get to sing these songs to Him because of all the things that He's done for us and what He's doing in us. And we get to express that through song and joy. But true worship is an everyday lifestyle. He's saying, fear the Lord and serve Him and be faithful. Throughout Joshua's life, he displayed devotion to God and courage to his people as he led the children of Israel to the promised land while facing internal and external challenges. Fathers, we are going to face challenges. I don't have to sit here for the next 10 minutes and try to convince you of that. You know it. We face challenges on the outside, but we also face challenges on the inside. How about this? You're not good enough. You're never going to be a good father. How about this one? You're not going to be a good father because maybe you didn't have a good father. And because you didn't have a good father, you just think, look, there's no point. I'm never going to get over it. Or how about this? Maybe you started off not being a good father. Maybe you started off not being a good man. Maybe you started off not being a good husband. That doesn't mean you have to continue down that path. Today is an opportunity. Maybe you have not lived up to your own expectations and you decided, well, you know what? I've already gone down this path. There's no reason. No one's going to forgive me. This is who I am. It's not who you are. Be devoted to God. You change that and things change within you. Allow Him to lead. Allow Him to guide. There is second chances. There are second chances. I am a second chance. You are a second chance. Don't fall prey to say, look, this is who I am and I'm not. Your children are owed. They are owed for you to be better and to do better in the role of the father. Your wives are owed. And by the way, those who aren't married and those who don't have kids, prepare now. Prepare now to be God's champion, to be God's man, to be a man of faith, courage, devotion, surrendering to Him. Prepare now to be that husband. Prepare now to be that father. Ask God to begin to change you and mold you now. It's never too late. Men of faith, be a person of devotion. Number 2, Joshua was a man of a great conviction. He was a man of great conviction. He said in verse 15, he said, look, don't worship these false idols. Don't worship these false gods. Worship God. Worship Jehovah God. You have seen Him love you. He's always been there. I'm getting ready to leave, and I'm not going to leave you anymore. I'm not going to lead you. You have to decide. In verse 15, choose you this day. You choose this day whom you will serve. You choose. What we believe and who he believed in was no secret to Joshua. It was no secret. He was not a man with a mere desire to serve the Lord. He was a man of great determination. It's a big difference. Are you a man that desires to serve the Lord? Or are you a man of determination? Let me tell you the difference between desire and determination. Desire is a hope so, a want to, a maybe so. If I get to it, I will. I have a desire. I want it. But am I willing to work for it? I have a desire to be in shape.